tile just because of all the item fanfares, although you don't have to go out of your way to get any of them, so it doesn't actually spend too much time. And then, of course, 4 E-Tanks is pretty free, but high jump boots, speed, and space jump forces both Norfair and Meridia.
In
And then
particular,
X-Ray.
in particular, having to kill Dragon is never a fun thing to have to do.
Yeah, but then X-Ray and Criteria Powerbomb are both out-of-the-way things that Hero will need to grab. Meanwhile, cross-product also has that high jump speed and space jump, meaning he will have to do Meridia, but also has Spore Spawn, Wave Beam, and collect all 60 Brinstar missiles, so still has a decent amount of missile collection. Then also that collect X E-Tanks and 11 minus X reserve tanks. So basically what that means is his E-Tanks and his reserves need to add up to 11, which is actually a decent amount of collection. He'll most likely be doing an extra loop around Brinstar to pick up all of the E-Tanks there, and hopefully he counts correctly and reaches 11 after that.
Yeah, the total of 11 RNG plus reserve tanks is not nearly as bad as the 11 RNG tanks, because there are a couple of reserve tanks that are pretty free to get, in particular the one at Brinstar that you get with the early supers. The 125 plus missiles is always the nasty one, in my opinion. Like 100 missiles, it's pretty easy to route in 100 missiles. If you ever just even tried in your head to route 100 missiles, not too bad. But when you add those extra 5 packs of missiles, sometimes you start having to think about where exactly am I going to get those last 5 packs. So it should be interesting to see how Hero handles that.
So for 60 Brinstar missiles, the 2 that are most notable are all of the missiles in Billy Mays and around that area, in around the beta missile in Blue Brinstar, and then the missile in Kraid.
Yep.
Which they will need to enter Kraid's lair with a power bomb in order to get that. So most likely, since it looks like the route for both runners with that high jump speed and space jump tile is probably going to force Kraid first, they will need to revisit the area or go up Red Tower just to grab the power bombs. Or not they, but cross product will. So cross product doing a left side moonfall.
I've not seen that before.
I don't think that's faster, but it was cooler.
But it is pretty cool. It's different for sure. Yeah, that Kraid missile. So cross product will have a choice. He can get the alpha power bombs early and then head back down to Kraid to pick it up then. He will eventually have to go to Meridia. He could also just do Kraid early. He could do, if he wanted to, he could get an energy tank at Crocomire and come back up with power bombs that way. Or when he goes back to Meridia later, he could stop by that spot. The biggest worry, I would say, is just to remember that spot at the end.
So somebody suggested row 1 for Hero, and honestly, from what I've seen, I'm almost looking at row 1 for both of them.
Let's take a look. So they both have to defeat Dragon already, and Cross has to defeat Spore Spawn already. So that would be an additional thing for Hero. One of Wave or Charge is pretty easy. Most runners will pick Charge, but sometimes, depending on what bosses you want to do, Wave Beam is not a bad choice. Grapple Beam or Wreck Ship Energy Tank. Yeah, either one of those is pretty decent. I would think that one would be more of an E-Tank maybe for Cross because he needs to collect a bunch of E-Tanks. Maybe Grapple Beam for Hero. Finish at Landing Site is just an annoying backtrack, but not too bad other than that.
The other one that got mentioned, I was also thinking this, was Column 4, once again, for really both runners. Criteria Powerbomb, I guess would synergize better with Hero since he already needs to get it.
Yep.
But Defeat Dragon is pretty free. 50 missiles is already less than they need to collect. Destroy 2 statues just means they need to go by the statue room after defeating Kraid and Fantoon, or potentially at the end after they've killed Dragon. And then Grapple and Skip Charge is a little bit annoying, but at least for cross product, he will probably need to do that anyways to get a power bomb in order to get the missile from Kraid. You know, he'll need to go down to Crocomire, so he gets Crocomire's power bomb as well as the grapple beam.
Yep.
One I'm looking at for Cross is TLBR. He will need, like I said, the route I kind of have in mind without really thinking about routing too heavily is with a Brinstar cleanup. So that collect 15 Brinstar supers is free. High jump and speed, I already mentioned. 6 E-tanks he'll have to pick up already. 50 missiles. And then, so the only thing that's really there is grapple beam or wreck ship E-tank. And so, once again, that's something he basically needs to do already to get the Norfair power bombs.
Yeah,
that was a really nice PT fight from Cross. I want to mention that. That was actually sick.
Yeah, that TLBR might be a good choice for him. We should just see what they actually end up choosing.
That is what I have in mind, at least. We'll see if he has any other ideas. Once,
Yeah, I mean, column 5 wouldn't be terrible, but the Norfair super missile is way out of the way, so I can't see the other tiles on that aren't bad at all. But yeah, that Norfair super missile is, I mean, it's not too far a dip into lower Norfair, but he already has to do quite a bit of Meridia. And I know for myself, I hate to try and combine. You know, if you have to do Meridia, don't do lower Norfair. If you have to do lower Norfair, don't do Meridia. So I can't see that one.
Row 5 could also be pretty decent for both runners. I don't think so. I think either row 1 or column 4 is better for Hero, and I think TLBR is just the best row for Cross.
Yeah, that row 5. I mean, Plasma Beam is not that far out of the way, and you have to already kill Dragon. Destroying 2 statues. You know, that's harder to ride than you think when you have to get the second statue, but it's not too terrible. But no, I don't think it's better than the ones we've already talked about. I think it'd be an okay choice though.
Well, from what I was thinking, you would do Kraid, do your upper Norfair cleanup, go up to Wreck Ship, do whatever you want to do there, and then from there you go into a Brinstar cleanup, and so you pass by the statue room on the way. So that's a possibility. We see cross product going back. He needs both the reserve tank and the missiles back here, so we saw Hero just pick up the missiles, which he also needs.
Yeah, and in the case of the reserve tank, cross product doesn't specifically need that reserve tank, but it is such an easy one to pick up. It'd be silly to skip it. And really the same thing with the missiles in both cases.
Give me a second. Somebody did it for me. I was gonna switch audio to Cross because Hero's having some internet difficulties, but seems it's been done for me.
Yeah, I beat you to it.
Shoutouts to Tracy being faster than I am.
And shoutouts to Crossproduct for skipping the missile getting the missile that I skipped when I had the 60 Brinstar missiles.
Yep, that is definitely a missile in Brinstar, so maybe not ideal to skip.
No, not at all. It was a 6 minute loss. 6 minute time loss.
But
ironically, it's the one match I won anyway.
So actually, we aren't really gonna see what our runners are doing for a while. Like a lot of these tiles are collection and/or a later game item, so we aren't really going to see much early game. Although we do see Cross Product immediately going up to Spore Spawn, so he is not going to do that on his second trip through Brinstar, which potentially. I mean, I guess he basically has to do it, right, to get enough E-tanks.
Well, he has to defeat Spore Spawn because it's required. It also gets him those super missiles, which is nice without having to do the back door.
That is true. I was just thinking. Maybe
I'm just not convinced it's faster to do it later. It's slow regardless. And he gets 2 supers in the first shot. That's nice.
Yep. I don't think it's. I guess it's just personal preference. Maybe it's technically better to do it early because you get the earlier supers. But I usually prefer to do it if I have to do Spore Spawn. Ooh, he missed that last super, so he's gonna have to do at least 2 more rounds. Unless he can get 3 missiles in. But I usually prefer to do it on the second trip through Brinstar if I can, just as a personal preference.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it actually makes a difference one way or the other. So yeah, I think it's just more of a personal preference thing. Maybe just get it over with now while he's thinking about it. Also, I'm going to point out to the comment about the commentator's race. Both of us are in the well, I was in the tournament. Derp still is in the tournament, and he'll actually be playing Kip tomorrow. And Kip is a pretty darn good commentator in his own right. If you've never watched a race with Kip commentating, you definitely should go out of your way to do that. So we are going to have a commentator's race tomorrow.
I had a witty joke, but I lost it, so you'll just have to pretend I said something real funny here. Well, crossproduct has defeated Spore Spawn and is going to get those super missiles. We'll see how he benefits from having that extra super pack. It does mean, if everything goes well, he can have a couple extra supers coming out of Kraid's lair, which is maybe not necessary, but definitely nice to have. He's also going up to get these missiles here, the Mission Impossible Powerbomb missile, or I guess just Big Pink missile. But so the way he's playing this is kind of suggesting to me he may not be coming back to Brinstar. So
he's gonna have to come back to at least a little bit of Brinstar because he can't get Billy Mays missiles until he has power bombs.
Well, he could potentially like enter from Red Tower and then instead of going deep into Brinstar, just immediately go up that door into blue.
Yep.
Brinstar. So Hero actually going ship first, despite what I was saying about I feel like this card is very well suited for Kraid first. So unfortunately missed the HBJ, and now it's going back to the CWJ. Ooh, this is tough. We have seen runners of all skill levels struggle with getting across the moat in this tournament. So hopefully Hero can get this quickly.
Yeah, I don't see any real benefit in doing this at this point. He's going to want to get Gravity Suit, of course, because he's going to have to kill Dragon to get Space Jump. That is doable suitless, but that's just a huge time sink if you're not going to have Gravity Suit to do that. Crossproduct also
going up. It is very possible he's only doing this for the power bombs, and he'll go back down afterwards. I doubt it, but it is possible.
Well, it makes more sense if that's what he's doing for Crossproduct to do it that way, since he does need to pick up specific missiles, whereas Hero, who has gotten across the moat now, can pick up any 125 missiles he wants.
So to get this wall jump that Cross is trying to do, you want to wall jump in between the 2 plants there. Like Cross did there, and he got it. But the thing that makes me think Cross might be doing that is that he was picking up all the Brinstar missiles right away, so he might want to just knock that out as fast as he can. Minus the blue Brinstar. He actually doesn't get health bomb.
A little bit careful here. Okay.
No, he's just farming.
He's fine.
He's chilling. But he might be wanting to knock out as many missiles as possible right away, just so he doesn't need to worry about him on his way back. So he could be going ship. He's probably going ship first. And speaking of ship first, Hero did manage to get across the moat. So shoutouts to Hero, entering Fantoon with basically full health, although that is still not a lot of health with his current loadout.
Yeah, early Fantoon is a bit scary. 1 energy tank, no suits.
Cross could be doing BLTR, but I highly doubt it. You can do that fully explore the wreck ship without speed booster, but it's not fun.
Yeah, there's one part of that when you're trying to get up. You have to basically wall jump up high enough to get the little shaft that allows you to get up to the
Ooh,
reserve
Cross.
tank there. Oh, now Cross really needs to be careful here. And it looks like he is just picking up these power bombs in order to get the Kraid missiles, because it looks like he's going back.
Yeah, that's honestly what I expected. Even though that's might look a little bit weird to some people, I think that's, I wouldn't say it's correct, but I don't think it's incorrect.
Well, it is. I will point out it is a viable hundo route to get those power bombs before heading down to
Hero
Kraid.
needs to be a bit careful. He can only take 2 more hits, although Fantoon is rather unhealthy as well. I was really glad that wasn't a rare mid pattern. That would have kind of screwed Hero over, potentially. Ooh, he's not getting health drops.
No, he's not in health. This is a dangerous.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is very dangerous.
He really needed to hit Fantoon there.
That 20 is just too far away for him to get. Okay, now he's okay. That's better. Oh, as soon as I say that, he gets hit by the flames again. Just the early Fantoon is just a rough fight if it's not something, especially if it's not something you do on a regular basis.
Okay, wait, was he only 1 missile from death that whole time?
Either 1 missile or he got the super in. I'm not sure.
Not
but
sure.
Wow.
That was a little bit silly. Anyways, Cross Product has his Kraid missile, so he has gotten that. And
so all he has left is the 2 Billy Mays missiles and probably the beta missile. I didn't actually
he didn't
see
pick up beta
missile. But it makes no sense to pick up the beta missile early on if you're going to have to go back for Billy Mays.
I do think Hero picked up the beta missile, actually. I might be mistaken, but he did. He had missiles. He still had missiles in his inventory when he opened the door to
BT.
Not BT. The bridge, early super bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard somebody call it the Pleasure Center. I don't know if that's a common name.
I have not heard that one before.
I think it was Becky who said that.
Okay, so Cross doesn't get the quick kill.
No.
But he has no trouble finishing off Kraid anyway.
Alright, so Hero saving. He may be going for that E-Tank. That's kind of scary. And also...
Yeah, it's just a safety save. Yeah, I don't see it. There's no reason for Hero to get that E-Tank.
Well, I was thinking maybe he could be doing something like row 1. But I think he was just safety saving for bowling, since he can only take 3 hits if he has full health. And if he's not super comfortable with the trick, maybe he wants the safety.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to have a little bit of safety there. Hopefully he'll go ahead and farm up to above 180 so that he can take those 3 hits. 60 HP damage every spike hit.
They're starting to have the opposite problem, where Cross was having some stream issues and Hero wasn't. So, the runner's keeping us on our toes, or at least their connections are. How many missiles does Cross Product have? Because I feel like he's got to have close to 50. Well,
he should have 50. Yeah, he should have exactly 50.
No. He should have exactly 45. Right?
No, he's picked up all the missiles, but... Oh, right, you're right, 45, because you're right, no beta missiles, so yeah. So he should have 45.
Right. Okay, so I assume he picks up high jump missile.
That would make...
And then...
Actually, he could, I mean...
It's not necessary, but...
It's one of those things where... It's a mistake I've made, and a mistake is a strong word for it, but when trying to do something like 60 Brinstar missiles, it's nice to not pick up those other missiles so you can keep track of how many of the Brinstar missiles he has. Oh, and Hero, it only was 79. Interesting they didn't farm up to above 180. He only took the 2 hits, so he was fine. But 79 health left.
He farmed to full health. He farmed to full health and then only took 2 hits.
Oh, right. I'm thinking 80 for some reason. It says 60. So yeah, he had 1 more hit to give. But yeah, wow. So somewhere along the line, and maybe I'll blame that it's past 11 o'clock here. 60 became 80, but no, it's 60. So yeah.
Is Hero just grabbing the missile? I guess so. I was thinking if he was trying to get all the... If he's trying to get all the tiles, he can't actually power bomb this anymore, so he can't. So hopefully that's not what he was trying to do.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Although I think if it was, he would just take the reset since he saved just a minute ago. So I say that because it looks like he went down the hallway above the reserve.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It shows that on the map. Did he make a mistake? Does he know you have to go behind that to get all the map tiles? No, because he didn't even get the E-tank anyways. So, not sure. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe rando muscle memory.
Yeah, it could be. Make sure that's a reserve tank and you don't need it.
just double checking.
Crossproduct, meanwhile, is going to get his speed booster.
Yep. So that makes 2 of the 3 required items for that central tile.
I will point out one thing about cross product going down versus hero going down. I think it's a more would be a worse decision for cross product to go up first, because there are E-tanks you can get with that speed booster. You can get the wreck ship reserve tank, and of course the waterway E-tank when he does a Brinstar cleanup.
Did cross product pick up charge beam?
I don't believe he did.
That may be a clue. Because he is going to pick up wave beam now. That would give him that row 1 tile. And he's already done spore spawn. So I think you know where I'm going here.
Yeah, I think I do.
I think he might be going for...
Let's see if he goes and gets the grapple beam.
I would imagine, since he went up for those power bombs, I would imagine he doesn't even go for grapple. I imagine he goes for the E-tank.
That could be.
At least I would think so. Hero, meanwhile, going to get those criteria power bombs out of the way, which also actually gives us a clue with what he might be thinking, because if he was doing row 1, column 5, or BLTR, he would probably want to do this at the end and then finish at the ship.
Yeah, especially since he'll have space jump at the end, and that's a much faster way of getting those criteria power. Space jump and speed booster, both of which are much faster ways of doing the criteria power bombs than trying to bomb jump all the way up.
Yep. Yeah. Also cannot be doing column 4 because he has charge. So we do not know yet. I'm looking at potentially...
It's column 2. I mean, you have to go out of his way to pick up plasma beam. Oh wait, but he would have had to fully explore the wreck ship, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
What about Rosa?
I wonder if he. I do wonder if he was thinking about that, because there were some indications that he was thinking about that, but.
Oh, I don't know. Column 1? That's actually not that bad. He would need to pick up grapple, and he would need to finish in a shine spark, which he could do. He could theoretically do in Dragon's room after picking up space jump.
Yeah, there's lots of places you can do a shine spark or a crystal flash. 15 super bristles is pretty free. He would have to, he has to defeat Botwoon anyway, because it's on the way to Dragon. So there's definitely some merit to that.
Yeah, he could be like going to grapple, using grapple to get X-ray, and then going from there to Meridia, and then doing Botwoon and Dragon, and then getting space jump and doing a shine spark in Dragon's room to finish up. That could be what he's doing. I definitely just came up with that on the fly, but it seems plausible. He just got 15 super missiles.
And it suggests in chat that he's could be doing top left, bottom right. That's certainly a possibility. He's got
Yeah.
2 of the 3 Brinstar super packs, 1 more to go at Spore Spawn. And he picked up an energy tank. He's got to get 6 for that, and so maybe that's his plan. Looks like Crossprock's gonna head over to Blue Bryn to get his the last few missiles that he needs.
So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and say that's almost definitely his plan, because if it wasn't, there would be no reason to pick up that specific super missile, I feel like.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
So
There's definitely easier super missiles to pick up, especially if you're going into Meridia.
yeah, there is quite literally. I mean, both Crab Supers and Aqueduct Supers are
Much
pretty
easier.
free. Just right there.
And Crossprock living dangerously again.
He's gonna have to pick up the Retro E-Tank
That'll
before he does the
Yeah.
Shine Spark.
I hope he... Well, he doesn't have to Shine Spark up there, but I do hope he picks up the Retro Ink Tank first before heading over into the Billy Mays room, because there are spikes there. And if you miss that jump into the room, those spikes can get very dangerous very quickly.
I mean, I don't think we'll have to worry about it. You see him already
there we
going
go.
up for that E-Tank.
Picks up the E-Tank.
Okay, so... Wait...
Did Hero pick up this? He didn't pick up the Spore Spawn Supers, though.
He did not pick up the Spore Spawn Supers.
Hmm. Okay. I don't know what he's doing then. See, and like I was saying, Crossback does miss the jump.
Huh?
So, and he missed a roll.
Alright, I think I can explain. He wanted that E-Tank below Edekun's, and the super was right there. So... I guess? That's what he's doing?
Yeah, maybe.
It seems logical. It sounds right. I mean, I think that's better. I think column 1 is actually better than TLBR for him. I didn't really see that when I was talking about the good rows and such. That's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, column 1's pretty good, but I still think, unless you're dead set on that E-Tank, I'm not sure there aren't better E-Tanks to get. He doesn't need 60, he doesn't need E-Tanks. I don't know, there aren't better super missiles to pick up.
Well, think about which E-Tanks he's grabbing. Actually, you're right. He probably didn't want that E-Tank. Because I was thinking he would grab High Jump E-Tank, and he would grab Botwoon E-Tank, but... And he would grab Croc E-Tank, because he has to get Grapple. But that would give him 5. So, yeah, there wasn't really a reason to get Edekun E-Tank, but he might just be getting 1 extra E-Tank for safety.
Okay, Crossproduct leaving Norfair now. He probably will never return there. Or leaving Blue Bryn. Let's see, where is he gonna go next? Probably gonna go to Wreck Ship next, I would assume. Having to repeat the climb. This time with high jump boots.
Okay, cross product. I guess he was already in Blue Brinstar, but taking the parlor route to the ship. I assume he is going to Wreck Ship from here. No reason. Oh,
Looks like he's gonna do Gauntlet first.
gonna do a quick side track. Kind of surprised he didn't refill his power bombs at the ship, but
Also, a little surprised doing it in this order. I would think he'd want to do a Brinstar cleanup after the wreck ship, and this is a lot easier with Gravity Suit.
I mean, I guess what I think, like he could have done the Brinstar cleanup after Wreck Ship and then done the Blue Brinstar cleanup after that. Although that would be a little bit awkward into Meridia.
It all depends on what he's actually going for. If he were, God, what is cross product going for? I can't even tell. Like there's so much.
He just wanted
all over
the
the
E-Tank.
place.
He just wanted the E-Tank.
Just wants the E-Tank.
That actually makes more sense. And now it makes a lot more sense why he did things in that order. since that spits him back at the ship instead of deep into Criteria. Yeah, I like that actually, I think. Gonna set up for Ocean Fly. Or maybe just Moat Fly. And then smaller Ocean Fly.
No. Oh, nope, not going for Ocean Fly.
Just going for Moat Fly. So Hero is going to be picking up the Wave Beam, it looks like. So not going for row 1, but I think we kind of gathered that with him not doing Spore Spawn, among other things.
It looks like you just wanted the missile pack there.
Oh, okay. I mean, regardless, he would have to go all the way back to do Spore Spawn, so he's still not doing row 1, but doesn't want the Wave Beam either.
I'm gonna try Cross Products audio for a little while here.
Yeah, unfortunately, both of them are having a bit of trouble with their internet, or maybe it's on our end. I don't know. Our end as in Restreamer's end. Shoutouts to our Restreamer, by the way. Despite possible internet problems, they are doing a great job. It's always nice to have things set up nicely so we can make fun of it instead of actually having to do it ourselves.
Also, shoutouts to Polar Bear Bunny, our tracker, doing the real hard work.
Oh. Yeah. She has to count quite a bit of missiles for each runner. Not an easy task.
That 125. Ooh.
Yep. Well, I said something about the restream and it broke. Oh, I've been told she lowered the quality on both streams, which also would seem like it means she also needs to re-crop them.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Alright, well, that didn't take too long. And we are back. Hero has a lot of missiles to get this gate glitch. He gets it second try. As intended.
Okay, cross product finishing up Fantoon. Let's see where Hero is going. Looks like Hero's going towards Crockmire.
Yeah, regardless of what he's doing right now, be it TLBR or Column 1, he wants this grapple beam. So he is going to get that. I'll be interested to see if he gets the E-Tank. I would imagine. There's no reason why you wouldn't. It only costs the item fanfare since you have to wait anyways. Ooh, Hero missed that charge shot. Not sure why he's using charge shots at all. He's got
plenty of
ammo. Maybe he just wants to keep better track of his missiles, possibly. Yeah, he does get the E-Tank. I do think he's still getting Botwoon E-Tank. I think he just wants the extra E-Tank for safety. And speaking of which, Cross Product is actually also grabbing the wrecked ship E-Tank, which makes sense because he is going to be doing row 1 alongside his chosen line.
And he needs the 11 total E-Tanks and reserve tanks, so I believe he's got 2 reserves, so this gives him 8 total. I suspect he'll pick up the wreck ship reserve as well.
Oh. I switched to Hero's audio and it immediately dies. I got baited. Alright, so apparently Hero has 100 missiles. Judging by him opening the door, I imagine he is about to have 2 more. One from right here. The Indiana Jones missiles, which he does not Indiana Jones to get. Just jumps up there, and those cosine missiles, which were behind the door he opened but did not go in.
Crossproduct, meanwhile, heading up to the attic. And is frozen. No, here we go. God.
Yep, bad internet happens to the best of us. Did Hero get spike suit? I think he
I
did.
didn't see.
I kind of saw it and didn't register in my brain that he did something cool. So I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, and apparently I missed the mock ball in
Oh,
the
you
pantry
did get
area,
that.
which is one of the favorite mock balls of a lot of people.
I did see that. So Hero's just charging up the normal shine
There we
spark regardless, so hard to tell. I don't know if that means he still has spike suit if he has that now, or if he got the blue suit. Not sure how that works. Somebody who knows the technical aspect of the game better than I do
Yeah,
can
spike
maybe
suits
help
are
me out.
definitely not something I'm an expert on.
I would have to agree with you there.
Yeah, cross product showing the power of various suit takes a few extra hits going to the statue and is just fine because he's got all these E-tanks and a various suit.
So cross product saying in chat that he says he thinks he mispicked, which kind of scares me a little bit.
This is where I don't like to write an SRL for anything like that. I don't need my opponent thinking, knowing anything about what I'm thinking. Although it's not quite as bad as if you do it in a randomizer.
Alright, so cross product is going to be getting this reserve. This puts him at 3 reserves, I believe.
Yeah.
And then 6 E-tanks. And there's actually 2 more E-tanks and a reserve in Meridia. So he can pick up 2 of those 3. And that actually gives him 11 in total. So he never actually needed to do that extra Brinstar cleanup and still has enough.
Here we're going to pick up Ice Beam, it looks like. Not sure. Must just be an extra safety. He doesn't need the Ice Beam for anything. Oh, you know what? I wonder if he's going to get that instead of getting this. No, he has to get Speed Booster. So I'm not entirely sure what he's picking up the Ice Beam for. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt. It's not that far out of the way.
He wants the Ice Shield.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm serious. That's what he did. Where's he going? Oh, he's getting this missile. That puts him at 120, I believe?
Wow, that's not a missile I would go for.
It's not that bad, since he's getting ice anyways. I mean, you can argue maybe he shouldn't have been getting ice. Does he have speed, actually?
Well, he's gonna have to pick it up eventually. I just feel like there are much better missiles for him to pick up.
No, he definitely has speed. I don't know why he picked up Ice Beam. That's a little bit strange. I do not quite understand what Hero's plan here is.
Doing a nice job getting up those crumble blocks, though.
Yep, what he was doing there was
and then he falls there, right?
he was just gonna take Rock Escape.
Yep.
Again. It looks like what he was doing there was holding jump and then pressing the directional input, pressing back once he hit the platform.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that would automatically put him in a spin jump. I don't know if that's actually better in that situation than just timing your jumps well. Maybe it's easier to time for him, but unfortunately he still just goes the long way. Not that much longer though. Okay, so Hero does in fact have 120, and he's got plenty in the way in Meridia.
Lots of missiles in Meridia. Yeah, and actually, the best way to get, my favorite way to get out of that room is if you have Spring Ball, you can just bounce your way up, but not usually going to happen in the vanilla game.
Hero agreeing with Cross, actually. Saying me too in response to Cross saying he may have mispicked. So maybe both runners might be reconsidering their options. And that is the 125th missile for Hero, and he picks it up in style.
Yeah, and in fact, Cross Product sounds like he's still thinking about it. He just did a Zelda 2 race. It looks like he was still thinking about that at the beginning, because he at one point said, "I think I just tried a down stab."
Unfortunately, Metroid does not have sword. We have a bit of a high five here. Almost.
Yeah,
They're both-
Cross getting the E-Tank and Hero getting the missiles, because he's maybe doesn't quite sure that he
Both just giving each other dirty looks as Cross runs away. Oh. We'll call that a high five. As Cross veils the Shine Spark and Hero goes, "Eat my dust, nerd." And high fives him on his way up to the door. Although actually, Cross got through the Mount Everest door faster.
So this is going to be interesting. Let's see.
This is actually really interesting.
If Cross is really doing row 1, I have to say that Hero looks like, and Hero doing column 1. I would say Hero's in the lead here, because he's just going to have to defeat Botwoon and go get that X-ray scope, and then get to that, find the crystal splash or a shine spark. Lots of places near X-ray to do that.
Why is Hero farming so much?
Safety.
He's got 80 missiles. He's checking his missiles.
Energy.
He's actually just checking his missiles. I'm pretty sure. That's actually really bad, because what this race is actually coming down to now is Cross Product has to get to the landing site after killing or after getting space jump, and Hero needs to get to X-ray.
Hero will need to get to X-ray and get to a crystal flash or a shine spark.
Yeah, so they might not know it, but they were literally right next to each other in quite literally a dead-on race, and Hero just wasted a lot of time picking up refilling his missiles to check, and that is
finding out
bad.
he had extra he also finds out he has an extra missile pack.
No, did he pick up the Aqueduct missile?
I don't know. I think that we thought he had 125, then he picked up the Mama Turtle missile, so I'm not sure. Either way, we know he's got 125. Doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Crossprod going for the full halfie, not gonna get it.
Right. He stays on the ledge with that quick little spark. Call it the full goopy. This is actually really cool how this has turned out. This is like an actual race.
Absolutely.
Both the runners right next to each other.
I do believe Cross Product has his 11 E-tanks and reserve tanks. I thought he picked up 3.
Yeah, he definitely has 3 reserves.
So that gives him 11 total.
Yep. With that 8 E-tanks. Hero actually didn't pick up Botwoon E-tank. So maybe that was what he was doing. Just wanted to refill. Or maybe since he had full health after the refill, just didn't think he needed the E-tank. So Cross Product will definitely have a safer Dragon fight with much more energy at his disposal.
Hero, on the other hand, has more options. He could choose to do a grapple kill, whereas Cross Product looks like he's going to go for the traditional 80% Shine Spark kill.
Yep, unfortunately, he can't do the X Factors because he does not have Charge Beam. Although, actually, if this is good, he can get a 3 Spark. Not quite. If he sparked a little bit lower, that could have been a 3 Spark without X Factor, which is possible, but very tight. Luckily, he gets Dragon down to only a couple super shots.
Hero gonna go ahead and do the traditional speed booster kill anyway.
I think Cross is probably favored here. I think getting the ship is actually faster than getting X-ray. Well, it's comparable, but
it's gonna be close.
This is actually really
don't
cool.
know. It's gonna be really close. Plus, Hero has to do the Shine Spark or Crystal Flash.
Can you short charge on that little ledge outside of X-ray?
I think it can be done. I don't know if Hero can do that.
Right.
I don't know that, although I wouldn't swear to it. I mean, it is through a door transition, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. Although I'm trying to think the category where that would actually be useful would be Hundo, but by then you've got Spaceship and Screw Attack, so probably wouldn't necessarily save you time.
Right. Well,
So
in that case, Hero needs
long
Crystal
story
Flash.
short, I don't know.
Hero needs some more super missiles in that case to get Crystal Flash ammo, and I don't know where he's gonna get
Yeah.
9 supers.
I think the place I would shine Spark is I would just go up the new bridge and do it there. But that's an extra bit of distance he's going to have to cover after X-ray. Whereas Cross Product just has to get to the landing site.
Yeah, and Cross Product has a really nice path to the landing site with through the, what do you call it? The fish room, the Sephi fish room. Definitely the official name for that. This was actually really cool. I'm glad I stayed up for this.
Yeah, same.
It's turned out really, really interesting. I do think Hero is going to be shine sparking though, since he is not making any effort to refill his supers.
Yeah, in the end, I think farming would take longer than doing just a little bit of a backtrack through X-ray. Of course, the question is, what is the best route to X-ray? I think he was thinking about going up, and now he's going to go down.
Would up be faster? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but he was thinking about it.
It would be a couple less door transitions, but I think it would still be longer. I'm not sure.
Crossprock about to hit the landing site.
He has finished with an official SRL time of 46 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, I wonder how much closer this would have been if Hero hadn't had to take the time to farm before Botwoon. And Cross going into the ship and commenting in SRL that he has all 60 Brinstar missiles plus the wave missiles, so a total of 65. And that sounds like what we saw.
That is what we saw, for sure. Hero is almost done. Cross showing off that he's got his reserve. Whoop. Hero uses a super on that waiver, so he can't actually super the door. And there's X-ray, so he just needs to get to the ledge and do a shine spark.
And Cross Product about to join us. Hey, Cross, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for commentating.
Oh, of course. So,
I had a ton of tiles. Do I really just have to do a shine spark? Oh no, I didn't get the 120. No, on my end I used green for the tiles I picked up, and I was like, I got a lot of.
No, you're purple on there.
Oh wow, I should have gone top left, bottom right. I was thinking row 2 looked pretty good, but I didn't want to get grapple beam.
Oh, Hero's trying to do the frame perfect X-ray thing.
It's not frame perfect, but you can always IBJ. Wait, he's got space jump.
Well, he's got to finish in shine spark.
Well, you forced him to pick up space jump.
Yeah, he forced me to pick up.
Yeah,
It's true. We both had to pick up space jump.
You
knew I was commenting, so we got a whole bunch of space jumps.
and you knew I was running, so he made me get high jump boots. Oh, shout outs to Polar Bear Bunny for tracking too. Thank you very much.
And Hero finishing up.
Oh, nice. Not too wow. It's less than 3 minutes. It's crazy.
Yep, one of the closest races for sure.
I think that row 3 was a good pick for my opponent. I could have done better in my secondary row, I guess. I kept looking. I thought row 3 was looked so good that I was trying to match stuff up with row 3.
And then you got column 3.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, I mean, 60 Brinstar missiles is a bit of a pain, so.
That wasn't too bad. The only thing that kind of stinks about it is having to get the power bombs before going in the Kraid's lair. But actually, if you had done wreck ship first, it would have been fine. You wouldn't even have to kill Kraid. You could just pop in. Well, I also used the E-tank for 1 block, so I don't know. I just went down first because I didn't want to fight Fantoon because I hadn't practiced really.
Well, and I would argue that anytime you need to get speed booster for anything, it's kind of nice to just go ahead and get that right away rather than having.
That's
to
true too. Like I had to get speed booster and I had to get wave beam, so that was fine. Plus, it allowed me to get an extra tank and wreck ship as well, and also not get worried about dying the Fantoon or Spiky Death Room, going for the wreck ship E-tank.
Yeah, I liked your comment on the down stab, having just finished the Zelda 2.
Not only that, I was using the Samus sprite for Zelda 2.
Yep.
And when you get well, you saw it. When you get you get the down stab, it turns you into a morph ball. So.
Which is pretty darn cool.
I'm pretty sure I tried to morph just bounce on top of guys in the beginning. I was still adjusting the games.
It can happen. You play a lot of different games. Hero's going to join us in just a second, so we'll be able to get his thoughts on this as well. And so, Cross, you get to play Beeps, formerly known as Blue Plasma Spark, in the next round.
Okay. Well, I had a good run. It's fine.
Oh, come on. You can win that. Yeah. Certainly nobody left is an easy win, but that includes you, so so it'll be a fun race for sure.
So one thing I do want to note, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but while you guys were going through Meridia, you guys were basically synced up until Hero took a little bit of time to farm before
Why don't we
Batoon.
wait till Hero's about to join us?
Yeah, I think I didn't even pick up drops from Fantoon or you know what it was is I didn't get any of the super missiles in wreck ship. I was like, super missiles? I don't need super missiles. And then it was as I was approaching Bowling Room, I thought, oh my gosh, I do need super missiles. So I farmed a couple extra guys, picked up a few, and then I got the Aqueduct Supers, which I actually was fine without the Aqueduct Supers. I had a pretty good safe strat. Like, when you can get the 4 or 5 free hits in round 1, I did that, and then it just spammed missiles before he got too fast to hit with them.
Yeah, and welcoming in Hero, what we were just talking about is you guys were, I don't know if you were watching the restream at all, but you guys were very, very close to in sync going through Meridia until you stopped to farm a little bit before Botloon and Cross Product got there a little bit quicker.
I had finished all of my other objectives before that, save for finishing at the landing site though.
Yeah, I completely lost track of how many missile packs I had picked up because
ouch.
Yeah, for some reason I was like, oh, I don't need a pad and paper to keep track of my missiles. I can do it in my head.
Ow. Yeah, I think you had the 1 extra missile pack at that point.
Yeah,
so
I had one.
You were farming
to
check it, huh?
Yep.
I picked up an extra missile pack too by mistake. I just kind of face planted into the wave missiles.
That's an easy one, not to
skip. This isn't Brinstar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ones that I picked up 2 that were really out of the way that I could have skipped, and it was like the ice crumble shaft missiles that.
Yeah, I was questioning that one.
That was a nightmare.
For sure.
I didn't even need ice. I don't even know why I went in and got it.
Yeah, I was questioning that too.
Now that I'm looking at the tracking that Polar Bear Bunny did, I definitely should have just done top left to bot right. Because, I already had to get those 50 missiles and the 6 E-tanks. So all I would have done, it would have just been hopping into Edicoons to get
for the
to get a
supers,
super
yeah,
missile
'cause you
pack.
got the
Oh,
other
and
two.
guess what? That's like 3 more E-tanks I can pick up while I'm there. That would have been so much better. I didn't
Yeah.
even look at that diagonal. That would have been probably the best compliment to column 3.
Yeah, I think that's what we were pointing.
Especially
were
since like I already had to get. I didn't have to get the early super. Well, I had to go get the missiles. So I basically had to get early supers and spore spawn supers already. It would just mean doing a moon dance or.
You already had the 50 missiles. You already had
If
the
I did a
60
moon
tanks.
dance, if I did a moon dance, I wouldn't have had to go up for power bombs before crate either. But that
Ooh.
probably, I don't know if that would have saved time.
Yeah. Depends
Especially
on
since
how good your moon dance is, I suppose.
and I did have to go into Alpha Peebs for a missile pack. Right. Oh man, if I moon dance there, then get all the E tanks there immediately, except Waterway. Then I go do a Crystal Flash, elevate. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I should. That collect all 15 Brinstar super missiles is just asking for someone to do a moon dance.
Yeah, it really is, because like you can knock that out so fast.
Yeah, it's that won't be me doing that moon dance, but yeah, there are definitely people that can do it.
I'd say, I don't know, if you somehow get a set of tiles where you could just skip Norfair altogether, it might be worth it. Doing a moon dance day.
If you know how to do it.
The
Which I
one
know you
thing-
do, Cross.
The one thing
Yeah,
I think I've learned is you don't want to outthink yourself. You
That's
don't want
true,
to try
too.
to
I
be
was
too
like-
fancy.
Yeah, and at the same time, you don't want to be too indecisive. I was like, oh, row 1 looks good, so I just did that and started planning out row 1. You know, when you start second guessing yourself, then when you think about it, like you're in Sarah's station. If you pick up a pretty good row off the bat, you already know your exact plan from start to finish. If you pick your row earlier, if you pick a row and then you're like, oh wait, now I've gotten Morph Ball, I've gotten bombs, I've gotten the early super missiles. Okay, now I actually want to do this row. That's a lot of planning time that you've lost because you've changed your mind.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I mean, as long as it's not a row that suddenly you realize, oh my god, I have to go someplace completely wrong
Yeah.
or contradicts. We've had racers do that where they've
I'm sure I've
settled
done
on a row and then it gets contradicted, or they pick up an item accidentally that no longer allows them to do that row. So
yeah, I was concentrating so hard on not getting charge beam.
Yeah.
It's one of the tough ones.
Yeah,
that is one of the tough ones.
changing your mind after, I'd say after, by the time you're at early supers, you've already missed the cutscene and 3 elevator rides. That's a lot of thinking that you miss out on. So like, if you haven't made up your mind by then, it's hard to read the card. It's like you've kind of shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
I generally narrow it down to like 2, because I don't always pick one specifically, but I'll pick 2 that are very similar.
Sure.
If there's 2 on the card that are very similar that complement, and in this one I picked column 1 and the top left, bottom right, because I just couldn't decide which one I liked more, and then I finally decided that the column 1 was slightly easier.
Yeah, and actually, you almost did top left, bottom right if you'd just
Yeah.
gotten the Force Spawn super. It's like you each skipped one Brinstar super missile. Okay. In fact, we thought for a long time, because when you went down to the Edicoons, he's doing top left, bottom right because he's gonna go get this Force Spawn supers, and then you went right by them. Like, nope, not doing top left, bottom right.
Before
That
we
was Hero
started, I had a feeling here that you were going to give me row 3, and I think I actually had already planned on column 1. If he picks row 3 for me, I'm going to do column 1. I think that's actually.
There you go.
And you just threw off my whole plan.
Yeah. And it's funny, I was going to give you column 3, like as soon I looked at the card and I was like, I think I'm going to do column 3. And I looked over the card for so long and I agonized and I tried to figure out something else to give you. And I was like, no, it's column 3. And I just assumed that you were going to give me column 3 also.
Yeah, it's funny. We kind of went back on each other.
It's like, do you go for
Column 3
more
was a
missiles or you go for the
good take.
specific missiles? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that's the thing. And the E-tanks too. The E-tanks actually proved to be a little trickier than I thought. Like,
Mhm.
I was going in the Norfair Reserve. I was like, "There's no way I need to get Norfair Reserve tank," but whatever. I just grabbed Wayfield. I'm gonna go grab Norfair Reserve. I probably don't need it, but whatever. And then, like, by the time I mapped it out, I was like, "Oh man, this is."
Yeah,
I almost
you
have
need
to
that.
go into a sandpit to get a reserve tank. Like, even I did. It was a toss up between Gauntlet and Sandpit Reserve Tank. I thought it would have been cute to get all 4 reserve tanks though.
That is a tile that
I
can be given.
decided against it.
Well, honestly, like if you have to, I was actually thinking because I was thinking that you were going to give me column 3, and I was already routing in because I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get space jump, so I should make sure to plan to leave through the sandpit to pick up the reserve, and that'll be my 11th tank.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Did you go to wreck ship early, or did you go down? And
Dude,
get
I'm
bunch of
so
junk
dumb.
first?
I went to wreck ship early, and I had already routed in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to wreck ship early. I'm going to grab gravity, run back in, and grab the wreck ship E-tank.
Right.
And I just pieced out and was like, oh no, now I have to go get, I was like, now I have to go get grapple, which is totally stupid and a waste of time.
Yeah, I sissied out and actually got Varia suit and then did Norfair first, which also meant getting Alpha Peebs so that I could get the Kraid missiles while I was down there.
I mean, that's not, for what I gave you because of all the energy tanks, that's not a bad route, really.
Yeah, it's an
But
extra
he
E-tank at
came-
Kraid.
He came pretty close to dying in that area. That
Wait,
was a
I
little
did
scary.
not.
Yeah,
Hey, what, Red Tower? had
yeah,
reserves.
you had reserves, and I believe you
No,
used
the
them.
only enemy that had a chance of killing me was caterpillars. Oh wait, I did actually. You're right. I blew the reserves while I was getting Vile Plume. Then I think I got out with like 12 energy. It's whatever.
Oh, wow.
But you survived. So that's all that matters.
But like the one thing I was worried about was caterpillars. Those things are like 60, 80 damage or something.
They hit hard. Yes.
Yeah, surprise. Well, I mean, they're baby key hunters, right? So
Oh, really? Oh, you know what? You're right, because the pre-spore spawn room that has like all the little shells.
yeah, that's why people don't realize that's why they hit like tanks, because they're baby key hunters.
I never really thought about
never heard of that before. I
But
like
yeah,
that.
in the room before spore spawn, you have like the little larva shells
Yep.
Skin. They shed the skin or whatever. The cocoons. They bust out of the cocoons. That makes sense.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to cover before we call it a night or a morning, as we get past midnight Central Time here?
Nah, just the usual. Follow my opponent and commentators and tracker and all the speed gaming channels.
Yeah, good luck going forward, Cross. This has been a lot of fun, and now I get to shift my focus to RBO. Yay!
Nice.
Have fun with that.
I love Dab, but I need more practice at Dab. There's the timing of this tournament was just a little unfortunate because I had just come out of 2 Super Metroid tournaments, so I wasn't really in the mood to practice. But
You're still in.
I'm still. And then somehow I accidentally joined a Zelda 2 rando tournament.
Accidentally.
Which I didn't realize was starting so soon. I woke up the other day and my opponent messaged me. I'm like, and it's Swiss round, so you got to play every week, right? And I'm like,
Right.
I thought this tournament wasn't for like another month. I'm going away. I'm going away to ClamCon for the weekend. So like, I need to actually schedule this race right now.
Well, that's the same as the Dab or the RBO tournament has been on the back burner since like March.
Yep.
And then in SRA they just sent out a message like a couple days ago. They were like, "Hey, you need to get a race PB by this weekend because we're starting the tournament." And I was like, "Oh, snap!"
Yeah, I think a few people are scrambling with that one.
Yeah, so I just threw together. I was like, "Hey, Zenny, do you want to race me and farm me for SRL points?"
I might need to do that. I have a VOD of my original 12-hour RBO run where I didn't. Unfortunately, I missed the pizza skip, so I lost a lot of time to that. A few hours, I think. I was just. It was basically Andrew was in chat telling me what to do as I was running
Nice.
for RBO for the first time without ever having looked up a guide or anything.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome and
It's
crazy.
like Andrew's like, I was going down to Ridley or something, and I might have gone down. I picked up all the ammo packs that I could, but I think I might have hit the Ridley save with like 10 super missiles. And Andrew's like, Cross, do you know what you're doing? It's like, no. He's like, all right, you're gonna have to leave Lower Norfair, redo the lava diving. And I was like, no.
Otherwise, you're gonna be a farming simulator for a long time.
It's that or farm fire fleece for 2 hours. Which actually probably would have been faster than farming fire fleece.
So, are you doing the RBO tournament, Cross?
Oh man, if I can get a time in, I don't know. It wasn't really on my radar. It sounds fun, but
I mean,
RBO is a great category, but I think I prefer watching it.
If I have to scramble to get a run in, like a race tomorrow, just so I have something on SRL, then I might have to do that.
Well, if you want to sign up, I am willing to race anybody by the end of the week if they want to get a race in. So,
if all goes well, it's like a 2-hour run for me. That's the thing. If it all goes well.
That's the thing with RBO for me. I feel like I either PB or I rage quit.
It is a very volatile category for sure.
It's going to be an interesting tournament because it's going to be down to like not making big mistakes, and as opposed to most Super Metroid races where it's like who can get a handful of cleaner rooms than the other person, or who has better movement overall than the other person. This is going to be like whoever doesn't blow it is going to win.
Yeah, because I raced. It was like a 7-way race, and it was like me and Ashdar and Zenny and Andrew and a bunch of people who are way better than me, and I finished like only 6 or 7 minutes behind a bunch of people that are way better. And I think it's because they took some deaths, or they maybe they didn't kill Ridley on their first try.
Yeah.
And really, that's
RBO, yeah, it's a volatile category.
Yeah.
I think Shiny Zenny can finish an RBO run before I enter Lower Norfair.
Yeah.
So he doesn't take too many deaths, but yeah, he would definitely finish before I got there, because I know I would get all the safeties, get all the extra supers and power bombs and E-tanks.
Yeah, I mean, I get all
double
the
dip in Meridia.
I hop in Meridia, and it's not as much for the E-tanks as it is for the two super missile packs in Meridia is huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
my gosh, I just thought of something. I can get Aqueduct supers. I'm gonna be the oh man.
Wait, how are you getting Aqueduct supers? Is there some sort of X mode or G mode or one of those?
Well, you could
weird mode
snail
things?
clip, right?
I don't
No,
think
not
it's
possible
not
in the
without a
water.
suit.
You
Yeah, not
can't
without a
snail
suit.
clip without gravity suit, but you can get a blue suit.
Yeah, it would be. You
I
know
think
what?
that's gonna be my strat
I
for
should have
RBO
known.
now.
I should have known that, Cross. Of course, it's gonna be getting a blue suit.
Yeah, I get
That's what
a
you do.
blue suit. Hop into
Keep it
Meridia
all the way
again.
to Aqueduct.
Yeah. I mean, you can't dash in most of the places in Meridia anyway, right?
No, I mean you can't dash all the way to Aqueduct for sure.
Just stay away from that button, and you'll be good.
Yeah, I think I would actually have to snail climb. I could do it. I think I could
no.
snail climb. You can wall jump up, but
I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to.
when you get to the top, it's pretty tricky actually.
I think you just do it from the bottom. You wouldn't have to go snail climb.
Well, you can still grapple jump with a blue suit, right?
You can grapple jump.
Oh yeah.
But
Absolutely. That's how you get out of Dragon.
The actual speed shaft. Yeah, good point, Chase. But the actual speed shaft that goes up to Aqueduct Supers, it's 2 tiles wide, and you could wall jump up there, but then when you get to the top, it's really tricky, and probably just faster to snail climb anyway.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I wonder if I could get Spring Ball.
Okay. Anyway, we have gone on way big of a tangent here, and it's been fun, but it is, again, past midnight for me. It's getting pretty late, so I think we're going to call it here. But thanks, you guys, for joining us and for
Thank
putting on
you.
a really good
Thanks,
race. That was a lot of
Tracy.
fun.
Wait. Okay, I'll just real quick. If I get the aqueduct with the blue suit, I can actually just shine spark up the shaft. And
That's what I was saying.
I was thinking of wall jumping up there, but never
It
mind.
would be way cooler if you
It's
snail
just
climbed
snail
up with the blue suit.
Then I can shine spark to get out. I can shine spark up the
God.
bot too instead of grapple jumping.
Goodbye, guys.
What if I just did a whole RBO run without grapple jumping? What if I just skipped grapple beam altogether? Anyway,
Okay.
bye guys.
You wanted to farm. Nothing else. All right. Thanks again to Cross Product and Hero. Thank you, Derp, for joining me. Thank you to Vince Easter and Mind of Me for handling the restream duties, and especially to Polar Bear Bunny for doing the tracking. Thank you so much for that, because just me tracking is just a bad idea. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Our next races that are scheduled, we have Kip versus my co-commentator Derp tomorrow at 6 o'clock in what is actually the winners bracket finals. Whoever wins that is going to have automatically get a shot at winning the tournament. The loser, I believe, is guaranteed at least third place. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then on Saturday at 3 o'clock, we have Freya Spirit versus Feral, which will be the last of the round 5 losers bracket matches. And so we'll be heading over to round 6 shortly thereafter. I hope you all join us for all that.
Well, I'll be there.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to just give Kip that win, right? He's got to earn it. You got to earn it. Whoever wins has to earn it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a good one. That's the only thing that I'm gonna promise. 2 very good racers. The two of you have just killed it this tournament, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. But that'll be it for me. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.